Hello, my little koala bears. Today we're going to be doing our final lesson on the equations of circles. What we're going to be doing is looking at the actual equation of a circle and figuring out what the radius and the center is. Now, this is like the opposite of what we were doing in our last lesson, and let's take a look how to do it. Now, what we know is this. We know that the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And remember, hk is our center, okay? And r is our radius. So how do we figure this out? Well, let's look at this equation right here. We have x minus 5 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. To find the radius, this is what we do. Since we know the radius, this is equal to r squared, we're going to say r squared is equal to 4. To find out what the actual radius is, we have to take the square root. So we take these square roots and we get r equals 2. So the radius wasn't 4, it's the square root of 4, which is just 2. So as a general rule, if you take the square root of this number, you get what the radius is. So our radius is 2. And to find the center, this is all you have to do. Now if you remember, these are the opposites. So what our center is, it's not -5, -2. We switch these signs. So our center is going to be 5, positive 5, and positive 2. So remember, to find the center, you just switch the sign. So if this is a -5, it's a positive 5, and if this is a -2, that's a positive 2. So this is a circle with a radius of 2 and a center of 5, 2. Alright, let's take another look at this. We want to find the coordinates of the center and the length of the radius in the circle below. Here is our equation, x plus 6 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 25 squared. Now remember, to find the radius, we just know that this is equal to r squared. So we set that up equal to each other. R squared equals 25. To find out what the actual radius is, we have to take the square root. So the square root of 25 is 5. So we just say the radius is equal to 5. Alright, that's our radius. To find the center, remember, we switch the signs. So it's not positive 6. Our center is going to be -6 for h and -2 for y, because we're switching whatever these signs are. It's as simple as that. So this is a circle with a radius of 5 and a center of -6, -2. Finally, let's take a look at this one. We have our equation, which is x minus 7 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 64. Let's start with finding our radius. We set it up like this. R squared equals 64. Okay? We take the square root of both sides, and that gives us r is equal to, that's right, the radius is equal to 8. To find the center, we just switch these signs. So our h is going to be equal to positive 7, and the y is equal to -3. We have figured it out. This is a circle with a radius of 8 and a center of 7, -3. Boom. Done with that. These next problems I want you to do on your own. Now I'm going to give you a clue. Right here, since you have nothing written, okay? There's no plus or minus. What do we think the center is? I'll tell you. The center is at 0, 0. Do the rest on your own. Now let's take a look at a few more problems. The final skill that you'll be learning today is how to look at the graph of a circle and then figure out what the equation is. So right now we're looking at this graph, and I want to find out what the equation is. The thing you have to do is really just identify the same three variables we've been doing. What's my h, what's my k, and what's my radius? Well, let's start with hk. To do that, you got to look at this point. What is this point right here? First, start with your x. Well, my x is -1, and my y, well, you can just go over here. My y is also -1. So this point right here, point -1, -1. That's my point. So my h, remember, is the first one. So my h is -1 and my k is -1. That's my center of my circle. Now to find the radius, well, I just have to count, right? You start at the center and you count how many till you hit the circumference. So it's 1, 2, 3. You could have done that in any direction. It'll always be the same because it's a circle. I could go the other direction, 1, 2, 3, or I could even go up, 1, 2, 3. It's always the same. So my radius is just 3. Like we did before, we just have to put this into our equation now. So it's going to be x minus -1 squared plus y minus -1 squared equals 3 squared. We simplify this. Remember, double negatives make a positive, so it's x plus 1 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 9. And that's it. Let's try another problem. Alright, let's take a look at this one. Remember, the first thing to do is find the center so we can get our h and our k. So the center is, well, our x is 1, 2, 3, 3. So our y is -1. So this point right here is 3, -1. That's our center. Alright? So we'll put as our h is 3 and our k is -1. The next step is to find out the radius. And like I said before, you just count in any direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is our radius. As before, now we just have to plug these points in. So x minus 3 squared plus y minus -1 squared equals 4 squared. We simplify this. Well, this isn't a double negative, so it just stays x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 16. And that would be the equation of this circle. Alright, let's try an IXL problem, taking stripe from there. Look at this guy. Where is the center of this circle? Well, the center is just at 0, 0, so that's a pretty easy one. So for our h, we just have to put 0. Alright, because this is 0, 0. And our k is 0. Our radius, we just count, is 1, 2, 3. So our radius is 3. And we just put this into our equation. So x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 3 squared. Well, x minus 0 is just x. And y minus 0 is just y. And that just equals 9. Now when you put this into IXL, you don't have to put these parentheses there. So just put x squared plus y squared. It's a simple way to write it, equals 9. And that would be your final answer. Alright, do the next one on your own and you are good to go.